Hello and welcome back to another video on legends and myths. Today I'll be telling you the story of one of the most well-known deities of the Mayan religion, Tohil, the god of fire. Tohil was a prominent figure in the Mayan pantheon, worshipped as the god of fire, rain, and sacrifice. In the Mayan religion, Tohil was recognized as being one of the most powerful gods, responsible for a wide range of natural phenomena. As the god of fire and rain, Tohil's powers were instrumental in ensuring the survival and prosperity of the Mayan civilization. Fire and rain were considered crucial elements for agriculture and the well-being of the community. The Mayans believed that Tohil controlled the sun, which would bring life, giving light and heat, but could also bring drought and famine. Similarly to the rain god Chak, he controlled the rain, which could nourish crops or cause devastating floods. The balance of these two forces was critical for the Mayans, and Tohil was seen as the force that ensured this balance remained intact. Tohil's connection to fire and rain was not merely symbolic. The Mayans believed that he could control these elements and bring them forth at will. This made Tohil one of the most revered deities in the Mayan pantheon, and he was often depicted in art and architecture as a powerful figure with flames and water flowing from his body. The symbolism of fire and rain in Mayan culture was closely intertwined with Tohil's role. Fire represents the energy of life, and in many traditions, it is thought to be God's mouth because it delivers offerings. Fire is the energy, the driving force, and the soul. It is thought to be the passion behind the creation and behind destruction. It is the hidden obsession. It is associated with the necessary force which is needed in order to form a new life. Fire is destructive, creative, dangerous, desirable, threatening, and necessary. Fire also represented warmth, light, and the transformative power of creation. Rain represented fertility, growth, and the life-giving properties of water. Together, these two forces were seen as the driving force behind the creation and renewal of life. In the ancient Mayan religion, people had a deep reverence for the gods, and Tohil was no exception. Sacrificial offerings were an essential part of Mayan worship, and they played a crucial role in maintaining the balance between the human and divine realms. The Mayans believed that the gods needed sustenance to maintain their power and influence over the world. Sacrifices were seen as a way to provide the gods with nourishment and appease their appetite for blood. Human sacrifice was the most significant form of offering, and it was reserved for the most important occasions, such as the dedication of new temples or the inauguration of rulers. The Mayans believed that sacrifice was necessary to maintain order in the cosmos, and that failing to perform these rituals could lead to disaster and chaos. The practice of sacrifice was closely tied to Tohil, who was seen as the patron deity of warriors and rulers. The Mayans viewed sacrifice as a sacred art, and it was an essential part of their religious and cultural identity. Although the practice is no longer performed today, its legacy endures in the rituals and traditions of modern-day Mayan communities. The worship of Tohil was deeply ingrained in Mayan culture, and this is reflected in their art and architecture. From intricate murals to towering temples, Tohil's influence can be seen throughout the ancient Mayan civilization. One of the finest examples of Mayan architecture dedicated to Tohil is the Temple of the Great Jaguar at Keel. Built in the 8th century, this temple stands almost 50 meters tall and features a steep staircase leading to the sanctuary, where priests would offer prayers and perform sacrifices to the gods. The temple is decorated with carvings and sculptures depicting Tohil and other Mayan deities, showcasing the skilled craftsmanship of the Mayan people. The Mayans were also skilled in mural painting, and many of their artworks depict scenes from myths and legends related to their gods. These murals were often painted in bright colors and adorned the walls of temples and palaces. In one particular mural found at the Bonampak site in Chiapas, Mexico, Tohil is depicted as a warrior god, wearing a feathered headdress and holding a jaguar skin shield and a spear. Aside from architecture and murals, the Mayans also created intricate sculptures that were often small enough to be carried around and were used as personal talismans or offerings to the gods. The art and architecture of the ancient Mayans provide insight into their cultural beliefs and practices, and Tohil's prominent presence in both indicates the importance of this powerful fire god in Mayan religion. Tohil played a major role in the creation of the ancient Mayan, considering he was a prominent figure in the Popol Vuh. One of his myths included the first 4 humans that were created, who were Jaguar Quitze, Jaguar Knight, Mahukuta, and True Jaguar. These men talked, listened, walked, and worked. They were also handsome, and from the very start they understood everything perfectly. Sovereign Plumed Serpent, or Kukulkan, encourages the men to walk around, and then the men praise Sovereign Plumed Serpent and the goddess Exmukane, and thank the gods for creating them. However, Sovereign Plumed Serpent sees that there's a problem, which he then reasons that with the humans' understanding and sight, there's nothing to stop them from becoming divine. The gods then partially blind the humans so that they can only see things close to them. With this, the humans lose their ability to fully understand the world. Next, Sovereign Plumed Serpent and Exmukane create wives for the first men. They make Red Sea Turtle for Jaguar Quitze, Prawn House for Jaguar Knight, Water Hummingbird for Mahukuta, and Macaw House for True Jaguar. It is said that these 4 couples make up the root of the Mayan people. Soon, the humans multiply. Jaguar Quitze's descendants become the 9 houses of the Kawek line. Jaguar Knight's descendants develop into the 9 houses of the Great House line, and Mahukuta descendants form the 4 houses of the Lord Quiches. The families of Jaguar Quitze, Jaguar Knight, Mahukuta, and True Jaguar travel to the citadel called 7 Canyons. There, Jaguar Quitze's house is given the god Tohil, Jaguar Knight's family is given the god Awilix, Mahukuta is given a god called Hakawitz, and True Jaguar receives a god called Middle of the Plain. These 4 gods are also distributed to other tribes. When the different families leave the citadel, they find that they all speak different languages and can no longer understand each other. Tohil is the first god to create fire. Jaguar Quitze and Jaguar Knight thank the god of fire, and their families sit around it as the other tribes weather rain, cold, and hail. Soon, all 4 of the first men sat around the fire. The other cold people approach the 4 men to ask for some of their fire, but they find they cannot communicate now that their languages have changed. Suddenly, a dark figure appears before the other people. He was a messenger from Xibalba. He tells the tribes to ask Tohil directly for fire, and then disappears. The people again approach the fire. They're so cold that they inappropriately covet the fire and want to steal it. They offer Jaguar Quitze metal in exchange for fire, but Jaguar Quitze addresses Tohil and asks the fire god what the people should give him in exchange for fire. Tohil insists that the people must agree to allow him to suckle on their sides under their arms. Jaguar Quitze relays this message, and the people agree and receive their fire. One group steals fire, and that group survives, but the ones who agreed to Tohil's terms meet their end. Tohil cuts them open and removes their hearts on their sides under their arms. After this, Tohil speaks to Jaguar Quitze, Jaguar Knight, Mahukuta, and True Jaguar, and tells them that it's time to leave this place. The god asks the men to give thanks, and so the men cry and sing. They camp along the road as they travel, and finally they reach a mountain called Place of Advice. There, the 4 families address other tribes and give them their names. The first men and their wives observe a constant fast. A while later, Tohil speaks again to the first men and asks for them to give him, Awilix, and Hakawitz places to hide, since dawn is quickly approaching. The men pick up their gods and disperse. Jaguar Knight takes Awilix to a canyon, Mahukuta takes Hakawitz to the top of a mountain, and Jaguar Quitze takes Tohil to a great forest. Then, the men wait at the top of the mountain named for Hakawitz for the sun to rise. The men cry and cry as they wait for the sun, and they wonder if they did something wrong. Finally, Jaguar Quitze, Jaguar Knight, Mahukuta, and True Jaguar notice the sun carrier rising in the sky. They unwrap their incense and burn it to give thanks. Finally, the sun rises and all animals cry out in joy. The humans kneel, and the earth suddenly dries out from the heat of the sun. At the same time, Tohil, Awilix, and Hakawitz turn to stone, along with several other icons of animals. The first men are overjoyed, and they build a citadel on the mountain. Then, the first men sing a song lamenting that they left their brothers, other tribes, when they separated the first time. Tohil was not just a deity in the Mayan pantheon, but a powerful force that shaped the Mayan civilization in profound ways. From governance to agriculture, Tohil's worship played a significant role in various aspects of Mayan life. The Mayans believed that Tohil bestowed his divine powers upon the rulers of their society. As a result, the kings of Mayan city-states would perform elaborate ceremonies and make offerings to Tohil in order to gain his favor. These rituals were crucial in maintaining the balance and stability of Mayan society. In addition to governance, Tohil's influence was also felt in agriculture. The Mayans believed that Tohil was responsible for bringing rain and fertility to the land. As such, they would make offerings to Tohil during planting season in the hopes of a bountiful harvest. The success of their crops was directly tied to Tohil's blessings. Furthermore, Tohil played a significant role in Mayan warfare. The Mayans believed that Tohil's blessings were crucial in battle, and as such, kings would make offerings to him before going to war. Victory was seen as a sign of Tohil's favor, while defeat was interpreted as a sign of his displeasure. Overall, Tohil's worship was central to the Mayan way of life. His influence can still be felt today in Mesoamerican mythology, where he remains a powerful figure. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this to come. Be sure to let me know what other fire gods or deities you would like for me to make a video on next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next myth.